An accountancy firm known as PwC looked into jobs in the UK and how many of those jobs are at risk of automation, being taken over by robots. So the study estimated that 30% of existing jobs in the UK were potentially at a high risk of automation, compared with 38% in the United States, 35% in Germany, and 21% in Japan, which is kind of surprising. I feel like Japan would be like at the top of the list when it comes to automation. Like they're really smart with robot stuff.
I think they're saving most of their robots for other activities.
Right, which I think is really smart, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, they write that the government should help by providing lower skill workers with more training in the next 10 to 20 years, the report said. So essentially they're saying, and I think this is a really great point, a lot of these robots, the automation is going to impact jobs in, let's say, manufacturing, where you necessarily don't need like high skill employees, right? And so education is important. Training is education, something that this country continuously shits on because we think that it's not that important. We allow the right wing to make us think that having a college degree is something to look down on. No, we need education. We need to make it accessible to everyone. That way they can get the training necessary to evolve with an ever-evolving market. Now, they specify which jobs are most at risk, and I think this is important. So at the top of the list, you have jobs like transportation and storage. 56% of those jobs are at high risk from automation, which is unsurprising. Like we're now moving toward self-driving cars and things like that. Also manufacturing at 46%, wholesale and retail trade at 44%, and administrative and support services at 37%, which again makes a lot of sense. Like you go to a retail store, sometimes you can do self-checkout. A lot of people are shopping online, and that doesn't require as many employees. So these are all things to keep in mind. Jobs with lower risk include arts and entertainment, 22%.
Booyah, that's us.
Yeah, well, it's amazing because people are always like, your liberal arts degree, you're wasting your money. Well, I guess there's some value to it. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing, 19%. Human health and social work, 17%. And education, 9%.
I'm surprised agriculture is that low, because you'd think they could automate a lot of the farming. And catching fish, you might be able to automate that as well. But anyway, good on you guys. You're apparently hard to replicate. That's great. I'm amused that they're going to replace 22% of us in arts and entertainment with robots. Hello, welcome to the Young Turks. Boy, I am so steaming mad about what the Republicans did.
Well, don't we already have those robots working in mainstream media?
Oh, damn. News anchors, or perhaps news actors. Just reading their scripts. Okay, so overall, some people are very cheery about this. I interviewed one of the founders of Wired magazine a while back at South by last year, actually. And he's like, no, it's gonna lead to better jobs and will lead to higher education, more fruitful employment. Maybe, and that might be down the road, and I'm a generally optimistic person, and great, I hope that's the case. But the problem is the interregnum, what happens in between. And so when a lot of people lose their jobs fairly quickly to this automation, and they have not yet had a chance to adjust, we could be hitting some real choppy waters. So yeah, the business interests might be psyched about this and they're gonna save money on it, but there's gonna be a lot of folks out of work. And if we hit a rough patch in the economy, in the global economy, and then you've got a lot of angry males, females too, of course, right? But angry males usually start wars. And they're displaced, they're frustrated, and they're all across the world, and there are politicians, as there are today, and it'll multiply, going around saying, oh, I'll tell you who's at fault. And they won't say the giant businesses. They'll say the other guys, the others, the others.
The Mexicans, the Muslim refugees, they'll find something. They'll find some scapegoat that isn't the real reason for why you're losing your job.
And then watch out and brace for impact.
Yeah.
And then when they turn some of those robots into warfare, there's another layer of, oh no. Remember, we had that scene during the Obama administration where Chuck Hagel was looking at some robots that the Pentagon had built. He was the Secretary of Defense. And they're like, okay, the public part of this is over for the press. Now we will show Chuck Hagel behind the scenes what these robots can actually do. And you're like, oh boy. So that never got shared with us as to what the robots built for war could do. So, I mean, I'm happy that they're replacing soldiers and that the soldiers aren't gonna die. I'm not happy about the destruction that they could wreak upon the planet. So I do believe that there's a wonderful future somewhere down the road, but getting there ain't gonna be easy. We're not the Young Turks, you're the Young Turks. You power this show. Together, we built something amazing. We've broken stories like the Donna Brazil story the mainstream media wouldn't break. We built the studio, we built this network. It's now #1, all thanks to you guys. Let's come build it even bigger and stronger. tytnetwork.com/join.